Hello, everyone. This is Robby Seabrook, one of the associate editors at Double XL. We are here with AB, aka Antonio Brown. We're gonna talk about his music career, Paradigm in stores now on all DSPs. A lot going on there. So, we talk about all the music stuff and how he got into it and give us a little background on kind of your journey so far, with the rapping and stuff like that. Number one, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
So thanks for having me on, man. Double XL. It's always grateful, you know what I mean? You guys magazine, you guys picking out the artists, it's always a mutual respect there. But I've always been, in the hip hop, rap, the culture, freestyling from college at Central Michigan, or just seeing my friends at high school, rapping with those guys. So it's been a journey for me, just the growth, the hard work, the commitment it takes. As anything you do in life, it takes work ethic, discipline, and having the right team. So I'm just grateful to be on the journey.
Nah, for sure, man. No, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so let's pretty much start from the top, man. What was your first experience with like hip hop? Like, what are like the first couple of songs or artists that you remember leaving like, I like this, I like what I'm hearing?
I mean, a lot of artists, from all over. Just remember the music and the feeling it gives you at the point of life you're in. If you're playing football, or if you're at work, or you're scribing for something, you just remember the melodies and the encouragement different tracks and tones could give you throughout your life.
Right. Who earlier on, like before you even were making music, like who were like some of your favorite artists? Like who did you like listening to?
I love Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, obviously, Bruno Mars. I like a variety of artists, you know what I mean? John Legend, Jay-Z, it's a lot of artists
right.
that give you that good feeling of encouragement and wherever the time of life you in, or however your vibes are.
Right. When did you start rapping? Like, I'm sure before you were recording stuff, were you like just like freestyle in the locker room? Were you that guy? Like, kind of how did you start getting into I feel like rapping?
When my boy in college used to have the studio at his house. So usually, we never like to go out to parties. So we usually stay up at his spot in the studio, creating songs and just being creative. So it became a habit, and we used to, just made it a business.
Right. Back then when y'all were recording, like, so who knew you rap? Were you putting the songs out? Like, did they knew on campus, but did they know, like, were you putting it out into the world?
Nah, we were just saving it. We just did it as a habit, a hobby. We're just perfecting the craft and just, I know my boy Tyler Reed, he probably got it all on his hard drive. So we just did it being creative and just did it amongst ourselves. And then, yeah.
So when you were doing it back then, kind of how did you feel about it? Did you start to feel like, oh, this is coming out pretty good. This is coming out better than I thought?
Absolutely. We figured it was a form of expression. Being in college way up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, we felt like, you know what I mean, we was, expressing some powerful emotion that was real creative. And I think we're going to start putting some of that stuff out eventually in the mixtape form.
Right. Yeah, right. It makes sense because now everybody knows you rap now, right? So you can put the older stuff out.
Yeah.
So you're rapping in college. Like which like what year was that? Like your sophomore year? Was it freshman year?
Freshman year.
Oh, so you started immediately.
Yeah,
you was rapping
2007.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you're rapping. Finish college. You get drafted, right? So you're in the NFL, right? Were you still working on music at that point? Like even after you got drafted, or did you kind of were like, I'm good. I'm focused on this now.
No, I always used to record music, but for the most part, you got to be focused on what you're doing in that moment. Everything requires a lot of attention. So,
right.
For me, we always did freestyles or express or write down how we felt in situations. As far as rapping creatively, seriously, I think in the last 3, 4 years.
Did you know other athletes who rapped? Because I know a lot of rappers, like a lot of a lot of athletes make music, like in kind of all the sports. But the
Yeah.
ones who do, y'all tend to like know each other. So were there other athletes you knew who were making music?
Yes, I know a lot of athletes that make music. Some of them publicly, some of them people don't know publicly. But I think we all have a form of expression as athletes wanting to be artists and as artists
Hmm.
wanting to be athletes. So I'm just bridging the gap. And you can get my album, AB Paradigm, and see how I'm bridging the gap. But yeah, I got a lot of friends, athlete friends that creatively made music. We've been sharing tracks, trying to coexist. So I think that's the next thing, giving artists, giving athletes a platform to be themselves and express themselves creatively. That's why named my album Paradigm.
It's funny you bring that up. So talking about how rappers want to be athletes, which we see all the time.
Yeah.
Are there any rappers who you're impressed kind of by not only their music but also like their athletic skills, where you're like, yo, you're better than I thought?
Absolutely.
You're not gonna say who?
I don't want to name drop, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right. No, that's fair. So okay, so you're talking about like the last 3, 4 years. You're putting music out, you're rapping, right? How do
Yeah.
you build these relationships with like other like more established rappers and stuff like that? Like where people who've been rapping their whole life and they're known for that, they find out about you rapping and you guys like you become cool with them. How are you doing that?
Well, first off, I'm grateful, to be accepted, in the lane with my brothers in rap and everyone on my album, all my features, the Young Thug, Baby, we got Fivio Foreign, um, Keisha Cole, we got Jacquees, French Montana. So we just got legends on there and great respectable people in their own lane who bosses, who make their own moves, and who's been pioneering hip hop for decades. You got French Montana, a legend. You know what I mean? You got 42 Dub, a young superhero. It's superhero day as we speak today. I'm in superhero gear right now. We got the baby, $1 billion baby. Don't say the baby without saying $1 billion baby. He represents his whole group, his army, the $1 billion baby family. You got Young Thug, P University, some of the most pioneer, black, smart entertainers in the world. So, got Keisha Cole, um, Oakland legend, California, hip hop diva. So it's a lot of people that not only I got respect for them in their personal lives, but for their crafts as well. So I'm just honored they gave me the opportunity to work with them, gave me the best work, and you can find that work right down. AB, my album Paradigm is out everywhere. Stream it, beam it, style it, run it, use it, wear it out. So,
Right. Um,
yeah.
how did you choose like who to work with? Like I mean, because like being famous gives you a lot of access. So, you can reach out to people that your average person can't. But how did you choose the artists that you worked with on Paradigm? Like what were you looking for?
I was looking for bosses, like I explained, bosses, pioneers in the music game that a lot of people love and respect, who I love and respect, not only for their craft, personally, just to be creative in the same room with these people and to see how passionate, how talented, watching Young Thug, edit the song right there as he recorded,
Hmm.
record right in front of you, seeing the baby come before I got to turn in the album and doing his verse and doing it right there in front of you, having his engineer stay there to mix it. So, I'm beyond grateful, for, my brothers to embrace me, not only in their lane, but give me a push in my own lane to help me have a better craft. So I'm grateful for that.
Right. Why do you think Pit Not the Palace was so popular? Like it became like your biggest song. Why do you think it was that one in particular that kind of did that?
because I think everyone could relate, and I feel like it's a little catchy to the point where people like to say, well, where they from and how they from. I feel like it was a real detailed, thoroughly message of you from the pit, not the palace. Like I feel like everyone understand that message and that tone of what it stands for, and it's a lot of energy. I think it's a lot of energy, a lot of motivation. The beat, the guitars, the strings, it just rev out your stomach and your heartbeat just to get you out your seat.
When did you realize that you like even wanted to put out an album? Like, kind of when did it come to you? Like, oh, I got to put Paradigm out. We're gonna drop the album now. Because, like you said, you've been rapping since 2007. You could have put it out like 7 years ago if you wanted to. But like, why? Why did you go? Okay, now it's the time for you to do this.
Well, I feel like the time now, man, it's a paradigm shift for my vision, a shift for how I look at my lenses. And it's a time in life where, you know what I mean, you want to have that paradigm shift to see things from a higher perspective. So I think at this point, I'm doing a festival now. I got a show June 18th at the State Farm Arena. We're doing Rolling Loud. So I want people not only to connect with me as an athlete and knowing my face and knowing what I do, but I want to be able to connect. I want people to be able to connect with the music and connect with it genuinely, authentically, and get to know it. So when we're rolling out to these shows and I got the set list, I can feel the energy from the fans, feel the energy from everyone who's getting inspired about having a paradigm shift. Every athlete, every person in the world, just everyone out there.
How long were you working on Paradigm? Like, how long did it take you to start it and finish it?
I think it was like since January, it's almost about 3 to 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Okay.
crafting, working on it, putting it all together.
All right, that's not bad at all. You brought up Fivio earlier. He was on the album twice, and like you said, you really got the best out of people when they came to your album. Like they really stepped up, and I think both of his verses were really good on there. Why do you think you two work together so well?
Well, Fabio, he's first off the king of New York, and he's just so talented. And I feel like he's so used to persevering through so much adversity. And when we came together, it was a point where I just had ran off the field in New Jersey. So I was still out here in New York and was in the studio out here. And it was just one of those times where I feel like he was just used to, you know what I mean, being in the midst of some adversity and knowing how to, you know what I mean, just be able to express still that positivity. And that what made it so special. The songs with Fabio, the championship song and the Half a Moon, because this at a time of crisis when I just ran off the field and no one know about my future. People don't know about my mental state. People don't know about, you know what I mean, where I'm at mentally. When the whole world is calling you insane and saying you're crazy and they don't understand you. I'm in the studio with Fabio and me talking about being champions and you know what I mean? And expressing it in a way where people can understand it in the midst of everything that's going on. So a guy like Fabio, I think he just, I think he been through so much and overcame so much adversity. He just know how to, reveal his true character in adversity, which is, pure to me. Anytime you're going through adversity, you see who really there for you, who got your back and who got your side. And he's one of those real ones that really had my side in the time of adversity. And he was kind of there for me as Ye was for him in time of his adversity when he went through what he went through. So it was good to see him be a big brother and kumbaya with me. I mean, a little big brother, you know what I'm saying? And kumbaya with me so we could, go by the Bible. Shout out to Fabio and his new album as well, Bible. It's #1 album, trending. And he's on that AB Paradigm 2 times.
Speaking of Kanye, kind of how did you kind of get into his inner circle where you guys start working together and y'all are hanging out and all this is also happening while you're still working on the album?
Yeah, it was right when that situation happened on the field. I think Ye reached out to me as a big brother. You know what I mean, just to bring me close and kind of embrace me. Brought me to LA, made me president of Donda Sports. Had me in the suite at the Soho for weeks while he working on his album. provided me producers, engineers, songwriters, creators to help me work on the best product I could work on. Not only help me with my fashion and my superhero collection, but
Mm.
just being that big brother for me in the midst of adversity. You know what I mean? And Sunday service, always Sunday service, and just fellowshipping, doing what we was born to do. You know, just making the right decisions to get close to God. So, a Paradigm, the album, the Donda Sports is still in the making. The Donda Doves, our high school team, you know what I mean, the prep team, that been is booming. And we just want to empower the future superheroes. Today is National Superhero Day. So it's right we get on the phone with Double XL and talk about AB Paradigm, the album, and the superhero collection gear. You know what I mean?
What now that Paradigm is out, kind of what did you want to accomplish? Like not even like commercially, like what did you want people to take from it? Like after they listen to it, kind of what do you want them to think? How do you want them to see you? How do you want them to see you as an artist?
I want them to I want them to respect the craft, you know, respect the creativity. You know what I mean? I want them to embrace the authenticity of the art and know that we take it seriously. We work hard, you know, we committed to it, and we want to set the standard and give other athletes the opportunity to be them true selves and be their best selves and be creative. You know, I want to work on the next album with none but athletes and give the athletes a platform that they could stand on. You know, not everyone is going to be a football player or play
Mm-hmm.
12 years or make lucrative contracts. So we want to be able to pioneer the future, kids in college and guys in the NFL, NBA, MLB, everywhere to just pioneer their best self and being creative because we all know athletes doing it. We just want to, maybe push out some mixtape where the fans could be able to decipher like the best athletes rapping, maybe put together a tour after the album and just give athletes a platform to entertain and touch the fans and the people.
How do you think, like your career in football, not just your career, even before you went pro, how do you think all of that prepared you for this, like to be an artist? Because I think you coming from pro sports gives you a background where you're used to like eyes being on you and stuff like that. And I think a lot of new and upcoming rappers, they're not used to it to that extent. But like, kind of, how do you feel football has kind of prepared you for this?
Anything in football, you got to have the right team. You got to have a vision for your team, a vision for yourself, and you got to have execution. And as an artist, you got to have the same. You got to have a right team. I got the right team in video and Royal Lamont backing me in distribution. The right set list team to put the set together. You got to have the right team. You got to have the right vision, and you got to have the right execution to be able to make that vision happen. And you got to be able to overcome adversity because anything you do, there's adversity. And you got to be able to just continue to pursue excellence. That's
Mm.
why I dropped my album, AB Paradigm. We got to continue to have the best visual set of lens to achieve the goal.
What like valuable advice have you gotten from other rappers at this point? Because I'm sure everybody's kind of talking to you, especially just off you being out and about and them knowing you have an album out now. So kind of what have they been telling you? Kind of what are you taking from those conversations?
Well, I don't take it for granted. My boy Young Thug, like, hey, B, man, just keep doing everything you're doing. Don't start, just do everything you've been doing. Keep doing what you're doing, just like you've been doing it. So I don't take that for granted. Young Thug is one of the biggest pioneers in the game, not only with his talent, but overcoming what people, said about him. When he came in the game wearing tight jeans and the way he wearing his fitted jeans, his rope chains, tight chains, everyone was making jokes about it. Not everybody I see is wearing the skinny jeans and tight
Right.
chains. And just him pioneer the fashion, fashion game just with that, him developing P University. P, they pushing P, that's a whole university of pioneers of Black successful entertainers. What I mean? He got his own university running. So, man, we just don't take the conversations for granted. And you always want to acknowledge, who who you're in the presence of, and I'm just grateful for that.
Um, you brought up earlier when I asked about kind of your favorite rappers, you said Rick Ross, of course, and I don't know. Everybody should know why you said of course because you're from Miami, so they should they should
Nah,
know why you
nah,
said that.
nah. But not
So,
only I'm from Miami,
hmm
Rick Ross. I really seen Rick Ross put in that work. You know
hmm
what I mean? And I always see him. It's still till this day. Like Rick Ross dropped the coldest verse and the deepest bars. So like, not only because he's from Miami, not only because he, you know what I mean. Ross actually was born in Mississippi. He just
hmm
rep Miami, but like Rick Ross, really cold. You know what I mean?
Who do you think? Speaking about Miami kind of on this song, y'all have like a really deep rap history at this point, like for a really long time now. Um, who do you think was like the best rapper from Miami, or just a rapper in Miami that you really liked? Just period.
Who you think the best from Miami?
Who do I think the best is from Miami?
Yeah,
Oh man, I see. Yeah, I
gotta be
personally,
Ross.
right. I personally would say Ross,
Ross,
but I know people
Ross.
before that would say Trick. I'm not mad at either of those. I mean, yeah, I'm not mad at
Yeah,
either of those. That's my thought.
I think you know what I mean. I think they both was generational rappers and rap the 305 like the biggest, but Rick Ross is the biggest. I think he took it
Right,
farther.
right. No, 100%. Um, okay, so now, kind of, what has it been like? Being recognized as like a rapper first, because there's definitely people who like know you more for the rap now because of how they were introduced to you. Like for instance, if they saw you with Kanye and stuff like that, and see that you're fully embracing rap now, kind of how has it been? Like, kind of what has the reception been from people in general? Like, kind of how are they moving with you? How are they treating you?
I mean, people were really excited when they see me, give off hope, give off encouragement. No matter what they think I do, it's about how you make people feel. So I think people feel good when they see me, they feel inspired. So I think that's really my job, as a human being, just to give off hope and radiate the light. That's what my album called Paradigm. I want people to feel inspired and motivated that they could do anything, that they're not a product of being victimized, of saying what they can do. Obviously, I'm a successful football player for 12 years from Liberty City, from out of Central Michigan as a junior. So I'm just here to radiate light, show love, and impact the next superhero with giving them an opportunity. If it either in sports, either with being an artist, any opportunity to help them achieve their goals and be their best self. That's why it's Superhero Day. That's why we're here on Double XL. That's why my business booming. That's why I got to get in my bag.
Um, okay, just to start wrapping it up. Now that Paradigm is out, um, what's next for you? What do you have coming up? What you will be looking out for?
You got to stay tuned. We got the superhero collection coming. We're prepping for another album, the Athlete album. Shout out, we going on a worldwide tour coming near to you. Uh, just stay tuned. AB Paradigm everywhere.
For sure. Oh, also tell us. I know you said you are on Rolling Loud. In which city? Which one are you on? I'm assuming Miami.
I'm on Miami, of course.
Okay. Right. He's like, yeah, I got to be on that one. Right. No, for sure. No, but thank you,
Home
man. I
team.
appreciate it. Thank you for
All
the
right, man. Thanks
time.
for having me.
Absolutely. All right. Robby Seabrook out of here. AB, be out of here. Thank you.
Gang.